Do you want to become a backend developer and apply to a job in a company or in a startup? Well, the first thing for that which you need is a strong portfolio, because when some developer probably who's watching your application, who's seeing your application, what they will do is try to look for marks of excellence as a backend developer. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to build in your portfolio, in your projects, to make sure that you are the one who stands out in such a situation. Let's go. If you're new here, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. This is free of cost and helps the channel grow. Alright, so as a backend developer, before we get into project ideas, one thing we should remember is that if you are applying for a company or if you are applying for a startup, you have to think about what the other person is thinking, the one who's making the decision, right? For example, if I'm reviewing your application for applying to codedamn, you having a lot of basic projects is fine. You having some scores on the website is fine. You having some certificates for some courses is fine. But what I want is real world experience, real world excellence. What you want ideally is your projects, your portfolio should be focused more on how much of real world knowledge you have. Not just theoretical or language specific knowledge, but combining multiple tools maybe, or just doing some production level things in the real world. If you have that knowledge, you have much higher chance of getting the job. I'm going to start off with the first project idea, and it's not like a project idea, but it's more like a toolkit you should use for building those projects, and that is using Cloudflare stack. Now Cloudflare actually includes a bunch of interesting things like workers. For example, it includes a KV store, which is a simple key value store. It includes a global CDN for faster access. It includes something like object storage. What you could do as one of the first projects which you're building is that build very simple apps, right? It could be just a dashboard, a user dashboard thing, or a code maker, or anything, a simple e-commerce website built with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, but deploy it on a very highly optimized stack. Because when, let's say, I'm seeing an application of a user, especially for a backend role, in most of the cases, you probably would also have to code a little bit of front end. As a person who's hiring you, I don't care about how your front end is performing or how your front end looks like in most of the cases, but I do care about what is your choice of stack on the backend. How well do you think about things like scalability? And not choosing services which you have to manage on your own, or in other words, just choosing managed services. So Cloudflare stack is a great way to start. AWS gets a little complicated, except for simple services like lambdas and stuff. So this stack, if you're choosing even for simple projects, like I mentioned, like code maker or simple user dashboard and so on, even if you're choosing that simple project with this stack, it puts a great, nice gesture on your resume or on your project that you're aware about latest technology trends in the market. All right, project number two, thing number two, which you should build. This is around real-time communication. Everyone knows that building apps which are real-time is relatively harder than simple apps. Now, this real-time app could be collaborative in a way, which would again be a complexity of doing some hard work, like a collaborative text editor, or maybe, a group chat or something, right? But real-time communication, if you're able to build a service which is over, let's say, chat or audio or video, for example, and you're able to build it in a nice optimized way, which could handle with the correct numbers, that you have numbers, it could handle 100 plus people in a single room. It could handle 1,000 plus people in a single chat room. And you sprinkle a little bit of scalability stack, like Cloudflare could be, like AWS, that could also be the case. If you do this, you could build any sort of app which is real time, which could be, like I mentioned, it could very well be a multiplayer game or something which is using WebSockets and stuff, which is again like a next level of difficulty. But if you're building a project like this, it automatically conveys that you understand real-time systems, you understand WebSockets, you understand latency, you understand network and how to get messages delivered quickly, which is case with a lot of companies. Most of the companies have one way or another some sort of real-time component in their app, whether that's a chat application, whether that's some sort of a finance app like updating the charts in a async but fast manner and so on. So having something which is real-time would also look really nice as a backend developer on your resume. Plus, Give it a sprinkle of scalability. That means don't deploy it directly on EC2, which could crash, or even if you're doing it, then deploy it at least in a fashion which is recoverable. You have optimized your EC2 instances, or you can use managed services like AWS API Gateway for WebSockets, or maybe like object storage, something like that from Cloudflare, which is also like infinitely scalable. Just do it in a way which is solid code-wise, right? Infrastructure-wise. If you say I'm building a chat app, that's okay. There are a billion chat apps out there, but there are a very few chat apps which can handle, let's say, a 50,000 server room, right? Maybe Discord is one of them. So I'm not saying like go and build that level of optimization, but still you should have your numbers. You should have reports on how much you have benchmarked or tested it to handle. You should know where your application cracks. Even if you have that information, that conveys a message that, hey, you are a developer who's serious about building stuff and knowing that where things start to break. So that's an important thing to have as a backend developer. My third project idea for you as a backend developer is to actually build good NPM packages. And this is something which a lot of people don't really talk about. I'm not sure why, but I feel this is like a very impressive thing to do. If I'm reviewing someone's portfolio or resume and something, and I see that he or she is an NPM author, bunch of packages being published and have decent amount of downloads on a weekly basis, that's a clear signal that you know how to make stuff that is used by a lot of people. That probably could be the only factor used for hiring you or considering you for the next round. Build packages which are utilities which you want to have, right? This could be a simple rate limiter, for example. This could be a simple, some security module, or let's say if you're doing some sort of image optimization, then it could be something related to that. It could be layer above FFmpeg. For example, if you're doing video processing, then using under the hood CLI tool, FFmpeg on Linux, instead of directly interacting with that, you can build a layer of NPM package over it. This is also a project idea. Try to build super useful NPM packages and try to also blog about them, document them so that people discover this, right? And people start using this, because if your NPM package is used by, let's say, 10,000 people, 50,000 people, weekly downloads, that's a clear indicator that you know what you're doing, right? You're getting into open source a little bit. That's fine. You would have to maintain the package for a while if it gets popular. That's fine. But this puts you in a very nice position as a backend developer to signal that you are a good one. My fourth idea for your backend web developer portfolio is to build a clone of hard to do thing, ideally in a startup in which you're applying. Let me give you an example. So one of the rounds for codedamn, for full stack web development, is that you have to build a mini version of the codedamn playground. And everyone on the team, most of the people I have on the team currently have built in one way or another some sort of clone or some sort of interface of codedamn playground. So even if you're applying in codedamn, I would ask you to do that. But if you're applying in some other company, if you're applying in some other startup, if you're applying in, let's say, some sort of music app or something, if you have a clone which looks like a music app and it's optimized and it's nice to play and it's nice, the UI is slick and so on, you have so much higher chance of getting hired in that startup or in that company, because the founders, because the developers who are seeing your project, you're seeing their clone, they can immediately see the amount of value you can bring in to the existing app they have or to the existing thing they have. Your clone or your app need not to be very polished or advanced or anything. It just needs to showcase that you can build and you can bring value into their ecosystem from day one. This is like a secret hack of building a clone or building some sort of similar service in a startup which you are applying for. This is like a way to immediately impress someone who knows their product, right? Who knows what we are building, and then they also see that, hey, this guy or this girl has applied with a similar example, similar product thing. Awesome. Let's just talk to them for the next round. My fifth and the final project idea for you is building nice CLI toolkits. Now, CLI is an interesting place because backend developers and even full stack developer these days spend a lot of time in CLI, right? So if you know how to build CLI toolkits or CLI things or, basic scripts which help increase the productivity of other developers, that could also be a nice project idea. And this is kind of like combined with 3 only, because you can publish the CLI tool on NPM as well and just have an npx your CLI or something. But this could also be like, just basic proprietary things for your project related, so that, if you want to just quickly bootstrap your project, you have a single command. If you want to do something which, let's say, delete all the node modules on your system, you could have a command. So you should try to make CLI fun, right? Because this is the place where a lot of people spend their time. And if you can save time over here, if you can build software which helps other people see that you are able to save a lot of time, this is also impressive. CLI is a good place for you to build your backend projects, for you to build and showcase that you know your stuff. And even with any programming language, even with like things like Node.js, you have utilities and you have things where you can build CLI tools, right? So yep, that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you got an idea on what to build as a backend developer, what kind of portfolio you should have. My one advice is that you should think about this in a way that how other people who are making decisions whether to hire you or not are thinking about you as a developer. So put yourself in their feet and think about, will you hire yourself? Do you bring enough value on the table? If not, then what all do you need to build to showcase that you can? Because of course you can, that's why you are applying. But in most times, your work speaks louder than what you say. So that is all for this video. I'm gonna see you in the next one really soon. If you're still watching this video, make sure you comment down in the comment section, I watched this video till the end. Also, if you're not part of CodeDamm's Discord community, you're missing out a lot on events which we organize on a weekly basis to code. You already know the drill. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and thank you so much for watching.